Nicole Greer. I'm here to talk about vibrant change management. I'm going to give you your first strategy, which is So if you look on your handout, it says this. This is not your practice life. You only get one life. This is it. As trainers, as leaders in leadership development, organizational development, HR, I think a lot of people are out to lunch on this very serious point that this is not your practice life. I mean, this is all we get. And so why not make it fantastic, or what I like to call vibrant? So that's what we're trying to do. Now, here's the thing. In front of you, you're going to have strategies, systems, and smarts for doing change management. Now, the first thing that it says on here is you have a past chock full of life experiences. Now, here's what I know about the past. Human beings love the past. And do you know why they love the past? Because it is certain. Everybody write that word down, certain. People do not like to go to the future because it is what? Not. That's exactly right. It is not certain. And our whole job of training is about the future. We're training people to take on something bigger and better out here. Like what was discussed this morning, stuff is mind-blowingly changing. Yes or no, nor yes. All right, so we have to become change agents, all right? So the first thing you'll notice here is that we've got a future full of hope as long as we're framing it that way. Everybody put the word framing it that way and point an arrow right there. Today is the only day that we can make something happen to make that future of hope amazing. So leaders inside of your organization and we as learning and development professionals have to get our heads wrapped around three very important perspectives. And that is this. We have a past that is overrated. You know that thing, that's the way we've always done it? Do y'all know this one? Say yes. Okay. And then we have this future that we need to get very clear about. We have to become very good at vision casting. And then we have the present moment. Okay, so leaders have to get their head wrapped around that. Now, to help you do that, I'm going to give you your first strategy, which is the ERP. Everybody say ERP to your neighbor. Did she say ERP? Yes, she said ERP. So here is the ERP. The ERP stands for the introspective, the R stands for retrospective, and the P stands for prospective. Now, let me tell you a little bit about an introspective. An introspective is casting a vision. Now, I know that you all have heard about visions until, the cows can come home here, because we in learning and development talk about mission, vision, values, yes or no? Yes. Okay, now, most of you, dare I say this, you're gonna love me anyways, probably don't have a very good vision at your company. A vision is a point in the future that you can see on a calendar when something actually manifests. A lot of companies have visions like, we want to be number one in customer service. Okay, by when? According to whose standards? I mean, give us some more detail here. A mission is how we're going to be on the way to where we're going, okay? And we have to have core values to guide our behavior because, dare I say this, is there some bad behavior out there? Yes or no, nor yes? Okay, amen, thank you. All right, so we got to cast this really great part of our future, all right? So here's the thing about the future is that we want to visit it with our God-given imaginations, okay? Your imagination is a huge part of how your brain works. You thought about today before you got here, all right? How many of you have a vacation or some kind of trip planned for the holidays? How many of y'all got that going on? Okay, so you sit still and you think about what it's gonna be like, right? Now, depending on your relatives, just saying, that visit you're gonna have is either gonna be super positive or you're dreading it, yes or no, no or yes, okay? So you think about that future state. Now, here is the problem that a lot of leaders don't understand is that once you get a human in your training class or in your organization, after 12 years of school, there's a lot of right answering having been done. Do you know what I'm saying? Children are taught to pass the test, not told to use their imagination to dream up something that does not exist and is not certain. So everybody in this room and every training developer in this room needs to sit down and get an amazing, amazing picture of the future and use your imagination. This imagination should dream up a vision that is in great detail and have a story that is written down. Everybody write down the words written down vision, story of what it is like to be inside of this organization at the end of a change or at the end of the year or when the vision is manifest. Because making a vision come true and doing all the training in the process is all about visioning and telling a story about how it is better on the other side. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I'm gonna pretend that I am walking a lifeline, okay? So back here is the day that I popped on the planet. Do y'all remember the day that you popped on the planet? Does anybody remember this day? Let me tell you what it was like. It was the same for everybody. Lean over to your neighbor and say, really, everybody? Yes, it's the same for everybody. When you popped on the planet, your mother was relieved. Yes or no, no or yes. And when you popped out, somebody held you. And they always hold the babies. You never see the babies laying around on the floor anywhere, never. And so when they looked at you, they said, oh my God, this baby is packed with potential. Full of possibilities. This baby can do anything. Is that what they said about you? Say yes. That is what they said. So what happened to you guys? We don't have time for that. We'll have therapy promptly at 4 o'clock. Okay, so you popped on the planet, okay? And so you popped on the planet and then life started to happen to you, right? Stuff started to happen and it started to shape your belief system. Everybody write down, I have a belief system. And that belief system was put in place by your experiences, by what your people taught you, what they said to you, what they shared with you, what you experienced from the bully on the playground all the way through college to this very day. And so you have a belief system, and so does every learner that shows up in your classroom, yes or no, no or yes. And so here we are with all these beliefs in the present. And now what we gotta do is we gotta take only what is useful from the past and bring it out here and use it as fodder and fire to make this future happen out here. But here's what I tell you happens. I'll go talk to teams and I'll say, where do you guys want to go? And you know what they always tell me? What they've done. It is very challenging for people to talk about this greater future. But we got to get really, really good at it. Now, do not go there, but in your handouts, you've got a list of 7 stories you have to get dialed in. Everybody raise your right hand. I promise to get these 7 stories written. Say it. And when you see what they are, you will be like, this is amazing. If all of the people inside of our company, from the CEO to the front line, could tell these 7 stories about our future, we would know exactly where we're going and what we need to do in order to get it done. All right? So here I am in the present. Now, can I make anything happen in the past? Can I go out to the future and make things happen? Where can I make things happen? Right now. And that is why we have to have what I call a sense of urgency. Also, John Kotter, many of you are Kotter fans in here for change management. The first thing he says we must do is we must have a sense of urgency. Like, why are we doing this change? Why is it important? Why am I going to this training? If you don't have that question answered, forget it. There has to be a business reason to get it done. A business reason to get it done. So now I'm gonna go back, and this is called the retrospective. Now, am I going to the past?